Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kansas City Southern Union Pacific N-scale layout. This is a full layout update. Haven't done one in a while. Showing you what I've got done and showing you what I'm working on. As you can see, the first track signal has been put in, but it has not hooked up yet. So that signal protects the diamond ahead of it. And I need to put a tortoise in on that switch so I can wire it to my lights. So that is one and only signal that is on the layout right now. I'm hoping to get most of them on the layout for sure, and hopefully working by the time I have some VIPs coming at the end of September. Period. Okay, also in this opening shot, I think you guys can see those lights to the right. Street lights. I've been putting in the Woodland Scenics just plug-in lights for the town of Palco, and I got to tell you guys, at first I was only going to light up Palco and maybe Hayes. Oops. But these things are so easy and it's actually fun to wire. So I put 6 of these in town, and I just put them on the one side. And I'm going to show you the only negative thing that I'm worried about. And that is these things kind of stick up. I did not glue them in place because I don't want them to break. But I have people switching and they want to reach over and grab these ground throws or unhook a car. So that's going to be a stiff warning before I do any run sessions. Might even put a little sign right here, watch the street lights, because they're not cheap. I do have a video on how I wired them and them coming on, and that'll be coming out in the next week or two. So I decided to add more lights to the layout, and I'll show you where when I get there. So I have 6 street lights, and I'm going to put a gooseneck light on the side of this building, and one up here at the top of the grain elevator. So I think that's going to look pretty cool. I'll kind of just give you a real brief shot of how I had to set some stuff up. I had to put power strips over this way, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this. There they are. And then there is the light hub and the expansion hub. And if you guys are thinking about lighting up your layout, you got to do it. The instructions are so easy, a kid can do it. And just like it says, you just plug them in. And that wire right there is going to go over to the ethanol plant on the other side. And I'll show you when I get over there. And you just take these wires, they're very thin, but you just wrap them together and you stick them in a little push button thing, and you have power. So like I said, I have a video coming out next week or two, and I'll show you how I did everything and show you what they look like. So I have more stuff on order from Woodland Scenics. Like I said, I want to expand my lightage, so I'm pretty happy about that. But anyhow, since we're here in Palco, what I've done, since I'm done with my double main track, I thought I'd go around to every town and freshen it up and give it a little fresh look before my VIPs get here in September. So a lot of stuff just got a fresh coat of landscaping and some top fresh ballast, nothing major. So I didn't too much do here. I fixed some spots that were kind of bad in the road. I repainted a couple spots where I'd spilled glue. Here's one of those plugins I was telling you about. Like I said, it'll be more in the other video. You just put the wires in there. So easy. So, and there's the gooseneck light. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's gonna look good. Anyhow, that's all I did in Palco. The south end of the yard is done, so I just have to reballast it, put in another ground throw, which is going to be that one. I've decided that this switch that goes into Palco, that's a long reach for a lot of people, and I don't want them breaking street lights or track lights, so I'm going to go ahead and put a tortoise on that bad boy. You can see some of the holes have been drilled. I just have to move everything around so it works. So nothing else going on in the yard. It'll get attention here probably next week or two. I'm going to finish ballasting it. And I was going to put some more tortoises at the north end, but I'm kind of all tortoised out. And it's just a yard, so I think I'm just going to leave these round throws in. I haven't had any problems with them. So, other than super detailing the main line, I want to put some more shrubs and stuff along the tracks and stuff. There's really not much more to do as far as track work, thank God. So, pretty much done with that. Put my engine houses in here and make sure they're all fitting, looking good. So I had to make sure there was some clearance because that track goes around the corner. So I've been putting microtrains couplers on all my rolling stock, and I'm putting microtrains couplers on my locomotives, so everything is the same type of coupler. For some reason, the microtrains couplers don't like the KD couplers on some of these locomotives, and they just fall apart. I hate it. It drives me nuts. Anyhow, in the town of Hayes, I did some restriping. I had to repaint most of this because I was using this pretty much as a workbench and I was screwing it up. So I repainted it. I had to put down some new lines. But I just gave the ballast a little topping, cleaned everything up, put some more fencing around the park. For whatever reason, that back fence never went up. And I didn't notice it till a couple weeks ago when I had a buddy come over and ask me how come there wasn't a fence there. So, the flags are back in place, the crossing gates are in place. I have my signal guy making me a mast up and over crossing for some lights. And then we'll hook them up. So, I re-landscaped it a little bit. Gave it a fresh top, and that's about it. These signals are back, crossing gates are back. I redid this area. There'll be a gooseneck light on here. I think those look cool at night. I might put one light on a telephone pole or something, or maybe two in the lumber yard. Thought that would look kind of cool. I gave all this fresh ballast. Got rid of the white and went with gray. So the white was too bright next to those cement ties. I didn't like it. So I just put gray on top. So, and here's a bunch of my grain cars that I switched out couplers. A lot of them had McHenry couplers, and those are crap, as we all know. And so I'm starting to bring out the grain train. I haven't had it on the layout in a couple of years just because all the couplers are messed up. And last September when my friends were here, we did not run the grain train. However, it will be out this year, ready to race. And we'll see what kind of power we put on there. Maybe some Canadian Pacific as they're getting closer and closer to take over one of my railroads. We will see. So here's some more cement cars. I put microtrains on all those. There's not much more to do on the cement plant. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. Probably needs a lot more work, but the one in Plainville is pretty small, just like this, and I just don't feel like trying to cram any more buildings and stuff in here, so I think I'm pretty much done with that. So, and then my farm scene, I finally put it back together. I had to take it apart to get to my main tracks and change all those switches, so all the fences are back up. And then I gave this all a fresh coat, and I put some animals out there. So there's that scene from last couple weeks ago video, that crossing. So that's pretty much it. As far as the ethanol plant goes, not really going to do too much here. Like I said, I'm going to put some lights on the corners of the buildings, maybe one up here on the top, and I'm going to put a telephone pole right here that has a light on it, and that's about it for over here. So I would say overall the whole layout is probably 60% done. Just a lot of super detailing and lights to put in, and yeah, the layout's going to be done. I'm sure I'll find something to do. So anyhow, that's pretty much the layout. Upcoming projects are putting all these lights. I want to get these lights in and working before those guys get here in September, and I'm doing research on how I want to do my track signals. You can do it with the tortoises, or you can do it with Digitrax. I'm reading a lot of literature on Digitrax, trying to figure out how to do that. I have a bunch of signals, I just haven't put them up. So I'll probably put them in at least, if not wire them up before those guys get here. Okay. Well, like I said before, the merger's getting closer, so the Canadian Pacific units are coming out on the layout. This might be some power for the grain train. I like to run my grain train 3x1. I run a lot of dupes on this layout just because I think it looks cool. Here's my coal train, but I'll have it out, but I don't think I'm going to run it. So, alright you guys, some work to do over here in the intermodal yard, but it's not really a high priority right now. And I'll talk about that in a different video, some stuff I want to do. But all those cars have micro trains and steel metal wheels, so they are ready to roll. Okay, you guys. Like I said, I'll have that video out on the lights and how I did it, and show you what they look like, hopefully next week, if not the week after. Alright. Highball. Out!